We got some good news from our friends at Goldman Sachs about gold and by default silver as well. But you know what we have to do first, you and I? We need to say hi to all the big, high-level, sophisticated traders at Goldman Sachs because I have it on good word that they like to come to the basement just like you are right now and watch my videos. And you know why? Because we dig a little deeper. We go under the surface to discover what's really going on. And you know, apparently it's working because now Goldman Sachs is seeing things the same way we do, that there's some good positive factors about gold that need to be brought up. They brought them up in a really cool report they put out earlier this week. We're going to talk about it, you and me, right now. We're going to talk about this good news from Goldman Sachs, but first, we need to recognize one thing about Goldman Sachs. They're just like you and me. They're wrong all the time. As a matter of fact, earlier this very year, they were calling for $2,500 gold by the end of the year. Last I checked, we were hovering around $1,800 right now. I say they were off by what, 30 or 40%, so they don't preach the gospel any more than you or I do. But here's the real important part. The fact is, the herd, they do listen to Goldman Sachs. They do listen to Jerome Powell at the United States Federal Reserve. Now, we're not part of the herd. Imagine a big herd of buffalo, 500 or so. And there's two over off to the side scouting out where there might be a good water source. That's you and that's me. The herd's sitting over there. And when the herd joins us, right, in our investments in the precious metal sector, we know that will be explosive. And, you know, Goldman Sachs, they're kind of like the herd master. They're like, hey, everybody, look, they found water over there. So when Goldman Sachs starts to say, hey, you know what? Gold looks like a pretty attractive investment. We need to perk up because that could mean some of the herd will start to join us. And that could mean multiple amounts of money coming into the precious metal sector. Now, I've gone on too long. I apologize. What did Goldman Sachs say? Essentially, what Goldman Sachs said was this. They claim that gold will outperform Bitcoin. Oh my gosh, Bitcoin, that shining star of the new economy, that gold will outperform Bitcoin in the long term. And why is that such a big deal? Well, that's a big deal because Bitcoin is the shining star, the, pardon the pun, gold standard of the cryptocurrency world. So when Goldman Sachs, who is the top-tier financial institution in the United States, even though they do come to Ron's basement, when they say that gold is going to outperform Bitcoin on a long-term basis, and then lay out a myriad of reasons why you basically don't want to be in Bitcoin as a store of value, that's good for gold. I do appreciate the fact that the Goldman Sachs people like to come to Ron's basement, but what's even more important to me is you. You've joined me today. You've given me some of your precious time. We like to talk about silver, gold, precious metal mining stocks. We like to dig under the surface to figure out what's really going on. Our intellectual horsepower is a little above average, so we need somewhere special to go to. Maybe that's here for you. I hope it is. I hope you feel like you found a new home away from home because we're just a small sliver of the population. It's hard for us to find other people who want to talk about these subjects. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe, turn on the ring-a-ling-ding-a-ling bell. You'll get notified every time I put out a new video. Most important, enjoy your time here and let's get back to the video. And we're going to talk a little more about what Goldman Sachs said about gold specifically, but I just want to bring up this point because a lot of people will say, but oh yeah, but all the big financial institutions are adopting Bitcoin. Look, Fidelity Investments lets you buy Bitcoin now. PayPal lets you buy Bitcoin. Well, you know what? Those guys will do anything they can make a buck off of, right? I mean, all the big financial institutions were selling mortgage-backed securities before that blew up in 2007, 2008. They were selling the dot-com bubble stocks back in 1999, and they'll just as well jump on the crypto wagon if they see a buck to be made. So let's talk about what Goldman Sachs said about gold that was so positive. They said gold's run-up, I like that, will be backed by real demand drivers, less likely to be influenced by difficult financial circumstances. And we know we're heading into that, right? I mean, it's already difficult. Go to the grocery store, go to the gas station. Look at what's going on overall in the whole economy. No matter how you slice it or dice it, we are heading toward difficult financial circumstances. And the gold has real world use cases. Well, you think so, Goldman Sachs? Do you think it's been around for 5,000 years as a store of value and has behaved perfectly over that entire 5,000 years, whereas Bitcoin's barely been around 5,000 years, and we aren't even going to talk about the other 19,000 cryptocurrencies out there. One final thing we need to talk about. Let's remember that also about 3 weeks ago, there was another report out by our friends at Goldman Sachs, right? See, they've been hanging out here in the basement with us where they said gold represented one of the best trade opportunities for 2023. They called the risk asymmetric, meaning the risk of it going down is far, far outweighed by the risk of gold and silver, for that matter, going up. Hey, we're going to wrap it up for now. I could go on for hours about this, but thanks for joining me here in the basement. You know you're always welcome. I'll see you, yeah, you, there's only one, next time.